opened our January 2012 season, or our season for 2012, right early in January, which is very unusual. We've got Woza Albert in the one venue, in fact in the Barney Simon, and Barney Simon was one of the writers of Woza Albert with Purkey and Twa and Bongeni Ngema. And we've got Somewhere on the Border, written by Anthony Ackerman in a very fresh, very dynamic, young cast production. And in the lager we've got Yellow Man, written by Dale Orlando Smith. It's a Pulitzer Prize winning play. So each of these plays is, first of all, let me say, extremely powerful theatre, very beautiful theatre. And let's understand that that doesn't mean solemn, it doesn't mean sort of without beautiful humour, and also deep and wonderful truths about the terrible things that human beings do to each other. The truth is that if theatre is quality and is self-contained and is full of integrity, it can play. It doesn't have to be revamped for the new age because we are 30 years later. I can say, though, that something like Woza Albert is just very interesting. That we're doing the whole text, we are honouring the original production. It's very physical theatre, it's very dynamic in the way it's being staged, exactly as it was originally. But obviously, audiences see it through the lens of a post-apartheid experience, the current crises, the current struggles. So you don't have to doctor these plays for them to resonate in a new way. So they are being staged authentically. I've never liked the term protest theatre, and I think the reason I don't like it is because it denigrates the extreme creativity that is located in these different productions, and all of the productions that have come to prominence in the last 30 years in the South African repertoire. The implication of protest means it was against something, it wasn't very active in itself, and it had its time and it's finished. But these are actually extremely powerful pieces of theatre, as powerful as any you will find anywhere in the world, and they are authentically themselves. So they have a life in their own being as a piece of art. They're of their time, and therefore when we look at them there's a kind of an education in the experience, but actually they speak to us as fresh works as well, and there's something remarkable about them. But of course we look at them historically, and yet we can have them as a present tense experience. So it's a mysterious process. My personal theory about South African theatre, but also about many art forms, is that there are phases, and that clearly in South African context these pieces were all made in what I call a fire. If you try to locate works that are built in the current fire, they speak with the same passion and urgency and necessity as the previous work did. So I can point to half a dozen works of great importance that have emerged in the last 5 years that speak to our new audiences, young, black, intelligentsia, middle class, with the same hunger. The play comes to mind is called Ten Bush. Another play is called The Suitcase. Even quite vanguard dance pieces like Thirst. Somehow they are speaking, and there's a new kind of a hunger here, that's all. We're still building a tradition. It's only 35 years old, 40 years old. And so the next generation, and our situations change radically all the time. You know, we're always plunged into new surprises. So suddenly we've got Somalian crisis, or suddenly we've got crises of leadership and succession, or we've got crises of cartoons and suing, or we've got crises of gender politics, or taxis and women and miniskirts. I mean, you know, everywhere you turn in this place, there's a story.